Hello, my dear loved ones. This is your car speaking, and I'm coming from our beautiful house in Costa Rica. You see my kids in the background, and it does fit that they play in the background because I want to answer some questions today. I've been receiving for so many years almost, and as we have increased our amount of traveling around the world over the last year, the questions keep on coming in, and it is the question about how we make sure that our kids get proper good education while living this gypsy lifestyle we are beautifully experiencing together as a family with 5 kids. As I know that this video is not gonna be watched by only my subscribers, but it will attract new people. Let me just briefly, I promise briefly introduce myself so that you have an understanding why I'm talking about this. I'm father of a family. We are the Sundance family. We are interested in eating raw foods, natural foods, organic foods. That's also our business that is funding our lifestyle. We travel the world. We have been writing books and programs and helping people to get more healthy with their children. And as an individual, sharing that passion with other people. That's our business. It's funding our travels. And we travel the world. We are a German expat family. We don't really have a home, or we have many homes, as I like to call it. And just this year, 2013, we have been in Thailand, Bali, Malaysia, Germany, the States, and Costa Rica. Several months in each destination. So the big question is, the oldest one you can see out there is 12 years old. How do we make sure to give them proper education? 2 things I have to let you know before I start telling you exactly how we do that, how we educate our kids. First off, you have to see that we are no Christian fundamentalists. Very often homeschooling, we do homeschool our kids. It's about homeschooling, and more in depth, it's about unschooling. And I will explain what exactly we do and what that means. We are no Christian fundamentalists. Very often homeschoolers are associated with Christian families who don't want to give any bad influence to their kids. That's not us. We don't have a Christian background. So that's the first thing I have to let you know. And the second one is, you have to see that I am a trained social worker. I have 4 years of pedagogic education myself in Germany, and I've been working in that job also for some years. So it is not just, I'm making not just stuff up. I'm experienced. I know the school system, the educational system inside out. I've been inside that system, and that's also why, together with my wife, my wife also is a trained social pedagogic worker. So we both have really backgrounds in regards to, especially with kids, working with kids, educating kids, and that made us the decision to actually turn against the system, or exiting it, being an expat also in regards to the system. There have been many studies on how inefficient the actual school system is. So I'm not coming from a Christian fundamental background here. I'm coming really talking about science. You have to see that between 50 and 80% of normal time in school is just going on checking that everybody is there, sanctioning kids who are just out of the norm, who don't do the homework, who are not doing the things they should have been doing. It is about homework, checking homework, giving you homework. So much of the time, then dealing with the kids that are a little bit slower than the others, and the kids who are far beyond the others, which often have the same symptoms. So that alone takes so much time of the actual learning away. So it is not, if the system as it is, it is not, if you don't just talk about education, it's just not efficient the way it is. On top of this is that kids, or learning, is also very, many different studies prove that learning is not happening by force. You can't force yourself to learn. If it's just, think about yourself. If I force you now to learn Chinese, and you have no interest whatsoever to learn Chinese, how long do you think it's going to taking you to get results? Do you think you're going to get good results? Do you see where I'm going with this? So learning happens if you have an interest. And that is what we're doing with the unschooling, and that is totally against the system, because the system is putting kids together in a group and then forcing them with a teacher in front of the class, forcing them to learn specific information. And very often the school system is set up so it's just repetitive learning. So you bump something in your head, you put it out again in a test. Very often also studies show that long term you just lose over half, sometimes 80, 90, sometimes 100% of everything you learn because you have no interest in it, you see? And you're never going to use it again anyway. That's the people who have been writing the plans, what pupils should learn, that is really from very old ancient days sometimes even. So a lot of the stuff is not even appropriate anymore to our new days. So that is just some of the background, you know, in regards to why I really criticize the school system as it is. The second thing what people always say, like if you homeschool or like we do the unschooling or the world schooling is the social aspect. That is so good for socializing kids. Well, I have to put against that. Nobody's asking those kids or your kids if they really want to be in that class with those other kids. You're forcing kids together in a too small room. Very often they don't have fresh air to breathe. They don't even get to go in the toilet when they want to go. It is really cruel, I feel. And you're forcing them to be together with other humans they would normally never choose to be together with. Now you could argue that's good, it's toughening them up, you know, it's strong on them. You always have to deal in those groups with normally like a clown. There's always a clown, there's always the strong guy, the bully in each of those groups. You can say, oh, it's good to deal with bullies and stuff. I don't believe that. You have the choice in normal life to walk away from bullies. In a school you don't have that choice. You are forced to be together with that bully and you have to find ways to deal with them. So I'm very glad that I can prevent that experience from my kids. And if that is for you socializing, to be able to deal with bullies and to, you know, that's, I don't believe that. That's not what I believe is helpful for my kids. And actually the reason why we learned about unschooling and homeschooling is that my oldest one, Benny, you can see him back there, when he was in kindergarten, as many years ago, he came home for days and days and days just crying. He was so unhappy. He said, Daddy, please, I don't want to go there anymore. Please help me. And that went on for days, and actually it was like 2 weeks or something. And then finally we decided, you know, he was depressed, a little 3-4-year-old boy. And we finally said, okay, well, if he's just crying every time, you know, we just don't bring him anymore. That started everything. So it was not like me with my dogma telling, no, it's all bad. And my son asked me, please. And we also, it's not that I tell, or I think it has to stay like that forever. When my kids will express they want to go to school or they want to root down, we're going to do that. But the kids are driving force in our travel plans. So we all enjoy traveling. It's so interesting to see the Aborigines in Australia, to see the elephants in Thailand, the jungle in Costa Rica, and the old churches and castles in Germany. That's learning. Learning to me, and that is my point here. Learning is not limited to 4 hours or 6 hours in school. Learning happens as an unschooling family, as a world schooling family, from the moment they open up their eyes till they go to sleep at night. You know, it is not limited. It happens all the time, and kids are so interested. They want to learn. They're soaking it all up. You see, so it is really to provide, and that's unschooling means it's flipping the educational system around. The normal educational system works that way, that you tell kids when they have to do what, when they totally have other interests that are so precious and important. And when they really come and have questions, you don't have time because you deal with other stuff. You see? Unschooling, to my understanding, is flipping this around. It's like giving the material so that they can explore stuff by themselves and just rather shut up, as we talk far too much. We interfere with their processes far too much as adults. So to just shut up a little bit more, which does not mean laissez-faire. It does not mean that you just let them go. Yeah, there's still clear boundaries and rules. Okay, so that's not, get this straight here. But you still provide a room for them, and then you let them explore their in their own path and come to their own conclusions. You see, you give them freedom to do that. You trust that they can do that. You're not forcing them or feel like you're the teacher from above and you teach downwards to the kids. No, you're on an eye-to-eye level, honoring their processes, supporting them. You see, finding themselves, expressing themselves, getting better in the things that they're interested in. And then on the other hand, So, but then you just rather shut up. But then on the other hand, if they have questions and they want to ask you, you must be ready to drop everything at once and be there for them. You see? So it's really the turnaround of the normal system. That's what I understand under as unschooling. So how do we do it? What is our take on how do we do this? As we live this very, very special lifestyle, traveling, we don't really settle a lot in places. We're moving. But we do this also. Well, there's a plan behind that. There's a plan that this is how we educate. We educate not so much learning from books, but if they want to see learn about the elephants in Thailand, we go there so they can touch them, they can be with them, they can observe them. We go places and we do a lot of stuff in real life. So we make a lot of offers to our kids to experience stuff firsthand in real life. The kids speak several languages. They do math, they can write, they can read, they do all of this, and they've never set foot into school. So because I think they can do that because they have not set a foot inside school. So we do this world schooling, which means we see places, we experience stuff, and then on the other hand, that's the first. And second is that half of the things that belong to us, we don't own a lot of stuff. We are a very light family, a free family in many ways. But half of the stuff we own are learning materials and Legos, Schleichtiere, Schleich-animals, books, lots of books. We still have lots of books, and they are there's a fluctuation. So we always get new books. We let go of other books. We are not holding on too much and stuff. But half of the stuff we own are learning materials. So we provide our kids with materials so they can explore by themselves and find out by themselves. And if one day gonna reach our limits. For now, as they're younger, it's easy. It's just about the cultural skills, reading, writing, mathematics, and just all those beautiful cultures we have. And there's so much to learn if you travel, honestly. But if it gets more complicated into physics or chemistry, which I both things I never really liked and my wife also did not like, we're gonna get support. Of course, we're gonna get support. Sometimes, when they wanted to learn horse riding, then we get a professional horse ride trainer showing them, So if we reach our limits, we find help. So we're not alone. And to answer also this question, of course, they can make university degree. We can always go to the States or to Canada, England, where it's very supported homeschooling, and we can just, write them in so that they can take the degree, the test, and then they could go to university. Of course they can. There is no problem with that. And so this is really basically how we do it, how we provide them with the information and the freedom to really get in touch with themselves, to feel themselves, to feel their strengths, to see where they have weaknesses. All of that in the normal school system, nobody is giving a damn. Nobody cares about that. You have to follow the rules. You have to do what the teacher says. So nobody's asking you what you want in school. Nobody's interested. You just have to follow and I don't believe that this is helpful. It took me years after school to finally find out who I am and to become, the person I am today, teaching and educating and being, as much as I can, as good as I can, a light to the world to share and bring information and inspire you guys. And one last thing in regards to the social question, always people ask, aren't you socially so isolated, travel so much and not having year-long relationships? I don't also see it that way at all. If you have years' time to express something, to do something, very often you don't have to go that deep so much, because sometimes from my life experience, and I've been living 20 years in one place. I'm a middle-class kid from Germany and have been living half of my life in one place in Germany. In my experience, I had much deeper relationships with people while I was traveling. Because if you travel, you have to be so social. It doesn't work out in any other way. You have sometimes just a night time, because the next day you're going to keep on traveling. You just have one one day or several hours time to really get to know each other. So there is no time for bullshit. You know, it's just, who are you? What beliefs do you have? What is important to you? You know, what is those kind of questions you ask so much more quickly. You go in depth so much more quickly if you don't have years time to do that. So, and also it is forcing you traveling constantly to be exposed to new social settings, to new people. So I feel, again, from my experience, it is much more supporting yourself to be social compatible and social interactive with other people in relationships if you're not stuck in one place and always see the same people. Nothing new is really happening, but you have new things to learn and to experience also on a relationship level. Also, we have friends all over the world. We often also travel in similar places to catch up with them. We have family at home. We see them each year. That's the hardest part, I feel, to not see family on a frequent basis. With the friends, it's easier. But the family, sometimes I'm struggling with this, quite honestly, a little bit, to not see mommy and daddy, the grandparents, too often. But we see them on a regular basis. We have Skype these days. We write. The kids write each other to their friends. So we have more friends than we can catch up with, quite frankly. And that's what I have to say in regards to social isolation as a homeschooling or Worldschooling kid. It's not true. You can choose your relationships. In school, relationships are forced upon you. If you live in one place, you cannot really choose as well. As a traveler, you can choose, and you can make friendship with the people that are really giving, you know, where you receive something that really means something to you, you know? So that's my point here in regards to this. Last thing, case studies have shown that not all homeschooling kids become doctors or famous rock stars or whatever. So there is a wide, very long-term case studies, especially in the States and England, where there's a long tradition of homeschooling. Kids take on the several same jobs than people from normal school system do. One difference is there, however, and that is that one that counts to me. Kids who have been homeschooled in a much bigger range, they pick on jobs they really love to do. They pick on jobs which express their soul, themselves. They're good at. They make a difference. They really help. You see? And that is what matters to me. I don't care if my kids going to be big doctors or have any big reputation job. I don't give a shit about that. I don't care. What counts to me, I want them to be happy. I want them to be of great service to others, to the people they're gonna love, to their families. That is what is important to me. And to my deepest belief, homeschooling, unschooling, the way we do it, the way I feel it's right. I don't say it's for anybody. For us in our family, it's the right thing. We are supporting them in really being in touch with themselves and become that person. Very last thing for people commenting here, if you don't do homeschooling yourself, if you don't have really friends doing homeschooling, I just ask you, please be kind in your commenting. A lot of the time people have no idea about how homeschooling really works. They don't do it, they don't have family or friends to do it. They judge homeschoolers for that. So you do whatever you want. I just ask you kindly for you being reasonable if you not really have experiences with that. Open yourself up to the ideas and just let us be, as I also let you be. It's fine if you go into school. It's just not our path. So don't feel threatened by me or us choosing a different path here. Thanks so much for watching. Now it's time to look after my kids in the pool. This is your Car speaking, and I hope you understand a little better now how we function as a family and our beliefs and actions in regards making sure that our kids get proper and good education. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.